Hi Pooja, how are you?
Yes, I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Can you tell us something about yourself?
Yeah. First of all, good evening. And this is Pooja Agrawal. I have 2 years of experience in software testing, and I completed my graduation in 2012. And in 2013, I got married, and after a long break, I rejoined my career, and I starting in 2021. So currently, I'm working in a software company as a manual tester, and but I know some knowledge. I have some knowledge about automation because I worked on automation in using Selenium. And currently, I'm working one outsourcing project
Hmm.
with Dynap, that is Omega V Drive. And in this project, I'm doing mobile testing. That's all about.
Okay, great. So can you tell us something about the automation framework?
Yes. So I used Selenium. As I told, I used Selenium, and I used
Hmm.
TestNG framework I used
Okay.
to
So
generate reports. Yes.
okay, so okay. Now, what kind of framework is it? Is it a data-driven framework? Is it a keyword-driven framework? Is it BDD?
It is a data-driven framework.
Data-driven, right? So so whenever this question is asked you in an interview, like, can you tell us something about your framework? So you have to explain in
Mhm.
detail. It's a data-driven
Okay.
framework. So you are reading data from some particular files. You might be putting config.properties file. You might be
Mhm.
using Spring Boot. You might not be using it. Then what is the reporting mechanism that you are using? Do you have any utilities class? Do you have any scripts folder in which maybe sometimes PowerShell scripts and all those scripts maybe you might be keeping? Then how do
Okay.
you trigger the automation test? For example, you might be using DevOps tool. You might be using Jenkins as your DevOps.
Mhm.
So end-to-end things you have to tell. You have to tell in detail. So there is a separate video that if you just search on our channel, how to
Yes.
explain framework, so that you can refer. It's generally this question, if it is asked, you have to answer till 10 minutes. So the interviewer will get an idea, okay, she's having a good detailed knowledge and she is actually working in some real-time project, right? So
Okay.
automatically your chances of getting selected will increase.
Okay.
So this is fine. Okay. What are the types of joins that you know in SQL?
Okay. So in SQL, there are different types of join, like left join.
Mhm.
Left join we use when we have two tables, and when we use a left join, then left table complete data of left table will come, and relative data between two tables will come when we use left join. And when we use right join, then right side table data will come completely, and the common data between two from left side will come. And next one is inner join. When we use inner join, then common data between two tables will come. And when we use outer join, then whole data will come from two tables.
Okay, great. Now, can you write a Java program to determine whether a given number is an Armstrong number or not? You've joined from laptop, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
joined.
Yeah. So I'm giving you screen sharing rights. So you have to write a program. You are comfortable
Mhm.
with Java language, right? That is what the language you are using with in automation also.
Yes.
Hmm? Yeah, so just click on share screen button, the green color button, and you
Mhm.
can share your screen. You have to write a program to determine if the number is Armstrong number or not.
Okay, sir. Okay. Shall I use IntelliJ or Notepad?
Yeah, whichever you want to use, whichever you are comfortable with. Yeah, you have to share your entire screen.
I have some confusion in Armstrong number.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
No worries.
able to
No
recall.
worries. So I'll give you a hint. So Armstrong number is the number whose sum of cubes of each digit is equal to the number itself. For example, you can take 153. Now, when I say 153, so 1 cube,
Hmm.
right? And plus 5 cube plus 3 cube. So that will be equal to 153 only.
Okay.
So that's how you will check whether that number is an Armstrong number or not.
Not able to.
Okay, okay, no worries. So let me share my screen and I'll show you. So yeah, now is my screen visible?
No, sir.
Not yet.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, now is it visible? Okay, fine. See, you have got this particular thing. See, this is the Armstrong number. 153 means it's sum of cubes of all the digits in that number. So we will take one cube plus five cubes. So one plus it's 125, right? And this will be around 27, right? So 27 plus 125 is 152 and plus 1, 153. There are multiple
But sir,
ways. Yeah.
tell me one thing. You take 153, but if
Hmm.
I'm not clear that whatever number
Hmm.
user will pass,
Hmm.
in that situation, I have to use loop.
So you have to use scanner. So you will be using scanner class. You will be asking the input from the user itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, or you
Mm-hmm.
can just define a number in an interview. If you don't get any number, just define a number. If it's an Armstrong number, you will your program will run and it will identify it's an Armstrong number. If it is not, it will run and it will determine it's not an. So that's how your validity of the Java program will be checked, right?
Okay. Okay.
You are getting it, right? In an
Yes. Yes.
interview, you should be confident. You take one valid number, take one invalid number, run the program for both the numbers. You have to give them proof. Let's see, now it is running fine. See, generally, in an interview, based on your experience, for 2 years, 2 to 3 years, they will ask you to write the programs of Java. For
Hmm.
Selenium, they might ask you to just tell high level logic, right?
Hmm.
Or like, how will you debug this particular thing? What will you do in this particular error? But for Java programs, you will have to write them, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now we are taking this particular variables, right? And this is one of our number for which we will be checking. We're also taking remainder that also we will be using, right? Now we are using while loop here, right? While
Hmm.
original number not equal to zero. So what we are doing
Hmm.
is we are processing that particular number, right? We are doing multiple operations with that number, right? And then
Yes.
if we come to know if result equal to number, so we have this particular number and the result that is generated out of all these operations, if both are same, then the number is an Armstrong number. If the result is not same, then it is not an Armstrong number. Simple. There are multiple ways. There are four other ways that you can identify the solution for this problem. Once you write this program, then they might come to you, okay, tell me other approach, right? So there are 3 to 4 approaches which you can see, but this is one of the basic approach, right? That if
Okay.
they don't tell you how to, which approach you should take, you can go with the easier approach and tell them the program. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what is the difference between serial and parallel garbage collector?
No, sir. I don't know what garbage
Okay,
collector.
see, what is garbage collector?
I think it's used in Java,
Yes,
garbage
yes, it's
collection,
used in Java.
for
For what
memory,
purpose? Yeah, yeah. For
for
releasing the
memory,
memory, right?
memory.
Now,
Yes.
the difference between serial and parallel garbage collector is that serial garbage collector uses a single thread for garbage collection process, while parallel
Mm.
garbage collector uses multiple threads for the garbage collection, right? So then the next question can come, which one is good to use, serial or parallel, and which one will be able to increase the speed quickly? So what do you think? Which one
Mm-hmm.
would be able to help you more?
Multiple.
Multiple. Yeah, it's parallel garbage collector, right? Because it can
Correct.
use multiple CPUs to speed up the application throughput.
Mm.
Right? Okay, now what is immutable class in Java?
Yes. Uh, String is a immutable
Hmm.
class in Java.
Hmm. Right. So what do you mean by immutable actually?
Okay. So when we use string,
Hmm.
and with the help of like new keywords, I'm using string. Uh, we can use string by with two types, by using string or by using literals.
Hmm.
Okay. So whenever we use string using new keyword, so it occupies space in a string constant pool. It consists of place in string constant pool, and we cannot whenever we want to change the literals of string, then
Hmm.
object will not be changed. So it is, that's why it is called immutable, like we cannot change the string. Once we allocate it, we cannot change it.
Right, right. Is it possible to create our own immutable classes in Java? Is it possible?
our, our own immutable classes in Java.
Hmm.
I think no.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure.
Hmm. Okay, fine. So let this be an open question for the people who are watching this video. You can try answering, is it possible to create our own immutable class in Java or not, right? And what are the different requirements to have a class to be immutable, right? Okay, so please put your answer in the comment section of this video. Okay, now let me answer this question to you. See, what are the different requirements if you want to make your class as immutable, right? So the very first requirement is the class must be declared as final so that child classes cannot be created, right? Then the data members in the class must be declared private so that direct access is not allowed, right? Then data members in the class, private is done, then parameterized constructor should initialize all the fields performing a deep copy. So that is again a parameterized constructor should be initialized so that it cannot be modified with the object reference. Right. So those
Okay.
are the aspects, those are the requirements if you want to make some of your class as immutable. Right. Okay. An immutable class in Java means that once an object is created, we cannot change its content. Okay, now let us see. Okay, now I'm sharing my screen. I have a problem statement while using Selenium automation. Yeah, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Hmm. Okay, now I have to, perform send keys, right? And I have to um, send a tab key both at the same time to check for the availability of the username, right? So I have to send a tab key and I have to check the availability of the username. So what I have done is I have basically written this particular code. driver.findElement by.xpath username, right? Send keys username, and then I'm just putting dot send keys dot tab. But this is not working. So what is the problem with this code?
Increased absolute exploit. Uh, you are asking that you have error in both or in one.
Yes, error is coming.
Error is coming by both.
Yes. Basically, the send keys is not working.
Send keys is not working.
Do you want me to help you out?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. See, if you want to use tab key, instead of going for the above approach, you can just define an object of the action strings, right? And a dot key down keys dot tab dot perform, and automatically the tab key will be used, right? Rather than going for this particular longer route,
Okay.
right? Okay. Now, next question is, so uh, I have to find out an element, right? And I have to save it in a web element variable name drop-down menu list. This is the HTML code of the website, which I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
automate, right? So I have mentioned this particular as the XPath. Drop-down menu list dot find element by dot XPath text equal to cart name web page, right? This particular text. But this is not working. The XPath is not working. So what is the mistake that I am doing in my code?
So you have to use drop down menu list. In place of drop down menu list, you have to use driver dot find element.
Sorry.
Uh,
Hmm.
you have wrote drop down menu list dot
Yeah.
find element, but you
Yeah.
have to
Drop
use
down menu
driver
list.
dot
Yeah.
but you have to use driver dot find element.
You have
Okay,
to use
web
driver dot.
element.
Yeah, but it's a web element variable. I'm
Okay,
saving.
web
Hmm.
element. Okay,
Hmm.
drop down menu list. Drop down menu list. It is a single web element or multiple web elements?
No, no, single only for now, right? See, I'll tell you the answer for this. See, we always have to put two slash before because elements which you are looking for are not at the top level, right? You can also find the XPath as per the descendant element of the current one, right? So that's how you will write the XPath, okay? Double slash, right? Okay. So this was about Selenium. Java is done. Okay, now you have done API testing also.
Yes.
So which is the tool you are using for API testing?
Postman. I'm using Postman and I'm doing by Swagger also.
Okay, great. Fine. So you are using Postman. Okay, what is the difference between put and post?
Put and post.
Hmm.
Okay. So whenever we use post API, we use it for creation to create anything when we need to create. So it gives status 200 or 200 201.
Hmm.
And when we use put, then we use put API whenever we need to update anything
Hmm.
we have created by using post and we want to update any field, then we use put API.
Hmm. Hmm.
But in both APIs, we use the same body.
Okay. What would happen if I hit the API with a post method 5 times? Will you get the same response?
Uh, First time when we hit the with the same body, first time when we hit, we got 200 or 201. But on the second time when we hit the same API, we will get 400 bad requests for the same body. But if I change any field, if I change any field, any particular field like date or name, then I will get okay.
Hmm.
But for the second time, I will get 400.
Hmm. Okay. Now let me share my screen. So is the Postman screen visible to you?
Yes.
Yeah. Now I want to, save this API URI in variable. So what will I do?
You want to save this?
In a variable. See, right now it is used, as a hard coded static, but I want to use
Mm-hmm.
it in some variable.
No, sir. Actually, I didn't use to store it in variable. I can pass the body in get, but uh, to store in a variable, I don't know what to
Mhm.
do answer.
Okay. Have you played with the environment? Global. Have you played with the environment
No,
while
sir.
doing API testing? So let's say if you have some set of APIs and you have to
Mm-hmm.
perform API testing in your development environment, and then you have staging environment also, then you have production environment also. So every time
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I
Mm,
use these environment production and staging means
mm,
like our local
mm,
UAT.
mm.
I use these
Okay,
environments.
fine. So how did you parameterize that particular URL of the environments?
Okay. So this URL will change like if it in when we have in our UAT or in staging, then this HTTP we got HTTP and this URL will change for for UAT. This URL will change like we have different port number, and when this is for live, then URL will change for live means uh,
Mm.
port number will change.
Right. Now imagine you have 10 API requests in collection, right? So 10 API requests you will have for uh, dev environment, 10 API requests you will have for staging. Similarly, 10 API requests you will have for production also. right? So every time you cannot change each and everything. So you will be parameterizing them, right? So that's where the variables will play a vital role. If you will parameterize some of the things like base URL is this, for example, right? So accordingly,
So,
you will be hitting the request in all the three environments, and you don't have to do manual labor work because the parameterization is available via variables in Postman.
but I didn't use.
You are not getting it? Shall I explain you again?
Yeah, I got you, but I didn't use how to parameterize in
Okay, okay. No worries, no
SQL.
worries. Fine, fine. So Postman is done. Okay. In your resume, you have mentioned that you have performed database testing and you are having good knowledge of SQL. Okay. So what kind of database testing you have performed?
Okay. So whenever database scientists give me query and I hit from database, like I compare it by front end also.
Mm,
I'm using front end and whatever result I get, I will compare it from database.
mm,
I hit the same, hit the query for the same and test the output is getting the same as per the front end or not.
mm. So output is same. So let's say if
So,
you are entering some order number. So you might be entering order number as 20, which is a valid number. So 20
mhm.
will go and check in the database whether 20 is a valid number or not. So in front end, you will be maybe navigated to the next screen, or you might be getting a message like, thank you for placing this order 20, right? So front end and back end. So how you will test back end?
Okay. So generally, I am doing what I am doing. I have different query like select query
Mm,
and select to all and use where query. And for this question which you have asked,
mm,
uh, suppose I have a data like I have. Let me clear it. Suppose I have some doctor's data.
mm,
Whenever I clicked on doctor, I got the data from front end. Okay.
mm,
So from backend, I will use the select all query and
mm,
uh, test I'm getting all data or not.
mm,
So I'm using the steps of testing from SQL and also join. I use join.
mm. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, Pooja, we are done with the interview. Do you have any questions for us?
No, sir. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Thank you so much, Pooja, and wish you all the best for your career.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.